What's going on, sports fans? This is Randy with Boxing and Basketball. And today I have with us Mike and Sean, and we're going to discuss basketball today. What's going on, gentlemen?
Doing good, man. Just got done doing some rosters and stuff for Golden Gloves this week. So I'll be judging, ringside judging the fights this whole week, 5 days in a row. So I'm just getting ready for that.
Okay.
That's good, man. It sounds pretty exciting, man. So how long have you been into it now?
Boxing for like a long time, since I was like 20, 21. But officiating since around Christmas time. But I love it, man. I just love boxing.
Yeah, that's good, man.
I see why when they retire, why they stick around the sport of boxing. I guess it's just like basketball, football, and all that. But one thing I would never do, I'd never be another Haslam. Man, been in the league 38,000 years, and they still pay him to sit on the bench. 1.52 million a year. I just don't get it.
It could be the same, man. The love for the game, just being around the fellas, maybe being a mentor.
Man, I'm freeing up a roster. You only got so many spots. Even if you put a veteran up there, you're wasting a spot. Why am I going to waste a spot on a person that doesn't play?
Yeah.
It's not where it's like a person is hurt and they can't play. Like the dude's just too old to play. So I'm just not feeling that. I don't care how much of a staple he is to Miami. If you want him to be a staple, make him another Charles Oakley. Give him tickets and let him pay for his rings, his on court or next to the court tickets. Let him motivate the people from behind the bench.
Or make him part of the coaching staff,
Yeah, I totally agree on that. I totally agree.
On which part?
As far as he's been in there so long, man, it's time to start coaching.
All right, Mike, let me ask you this. And I want you to really think about this.
Mm-hmm.
Every person that plays a sport, whether it's professional, amateur, or college, let's just go to professional route because we're doing that. If you've been in there 10, 15, 20 years, does that automatically mean that you should be a coach or you qualify for a coach?
You know what? If you'd asked me that 2-3 years ago, I would have said yeah. But really, I've seen some horrible coaches who's listen. I've seen some horrible coaches who were great players.
Yeah,
who were great players.
Yeah,
but were horrible coaches. But I've seen some horrible players became the greatest coach.
Right. I mean, look how fast they got rid of Steve Nash. They didn't keep him long at all in Brooklyn, and he had the powerhouse right there and couldn't do nothing with it.
Yeah. You gotta think, man, when you're talking about like some of these guys who we consider great, it's a lot of egos, man. You gotta check your ego. I tell people that all the time, and it's hard to check your ego when you've been that good for that long, and you expected a lot of people to be on your level just because they're a professional. You expect them to be right there with you and have the work ethic that you have, and it's not for everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
yeah. I think a good example what Mike was saying is Doc Rivers. He wouldn't be considered the top 50 NBA player of all time, but he's a hell of a coach. So a decent ball player, but a great coach.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let me send out a tweet real quick. Let people know to hop on here. See if we get anybody to hop on here and chat. Let me send out this tweet. All right. I got some questions for y'all fellas, man. Y'all ready?
Yeah, shoot, man. We ready.
All right. So the NBA G League, the Delaware Blue Coats, has a little white kid. You might have heard of him by the name of Matt McClung. He shocked a lot of the people at the dunk contest. But my question to you is, can he transition into the NBA full-time? He's in the G League. Now, my question to you is, he in the G League because he's a short white boy that can dunk? Or does he have the potential to be in the NBA? Start with you, Mike. What's your thoughts?
All right, I'm gonna say this, man. If you go back to the early 2000s, back when you had the N1 guys, you had Hot Sauce, you had Half Man, Half Amazing. A lot of these guys you thought would come to the NBA and probably shut a lot of cats down, but it's structured. NBA is structured, man. And with that cat, I've been keeping up with him since high school, man. Because he became famous in high school for dunking. He's got the bunnies, dog. He can jump. But as far as consistently scoring and defensively, I think he can come off the bench, but I can't see him as a starter.
Okay. What about you, Randy? What you see? What do you think about the clone?
So to my understanding, because I kind of followed him a bit, didn't he make the G League Rookie of the Year? And so he had to me, show some type of skills, in order to make Rookie of the Year. But I don't know, man. I don't think a slam dunk contest it would be enough to determine if he can, play at the NBA level.
All right, so here's a trivia for y'all. He signed to the Delaware Bluecoats, and which means that's the feeder into the Philadelphia 76ers team. My question to you is, when you're signed to a G League, and let's say his instance, can you be called up or drafted to any team in the NBA or just to that feeder NBA league that's paying you to be in the G League?
I want to, you know what? I really want to say anyone has their pickings. Like it's a
Wait a minute now.
protocol.
Are you sure? Because Philadelphia is paying that G League. Are you sure?
Listen.
I'm just messing with you, Mike. You're right. You can go. You can go anywhere. You can go anywhere. I want to see if I can trick you.
You know what I was about to. You know what I was about to say. Who I was about to say? Jeremy Lin. Jeremy Lin was in the G League, and he got pulled to different teams.
Yes.
So that's who I was about to bring up. And I was trying to think of the name of his team when you said that. But anyway, somebody's gonna scoop him up.
But correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Golden State pick him up and they released him?
No, I don't know. Maybe.
Okay, because I think I remember him.
Oh yeah. You're right. You're right.
Yes. They released him.
Them 10-day contracts, man, they'll throw them out like candy because they want to see what you can do. And I mean,
if you don't produce in that time frame, then they'll cut you.
They'll chunk you like this, throw you the deuces, be like, hey, appreciate your time.
All right, got another question. Question number 2. First of all, I was highly upset watching the Lakers in Dallas. Like, I was so upset that Dallas blew that lead. Not only that, they blew a 27-point lead. That's the biggest comeback, 27 points, which I thought that's been done before. But according to the stats, that's the biggest comeback, 27 points. And they end up beating the Dallas Mavericks. But in that game, if you watched it, you saw that LeBron came down. He hurt his foot. I'm trying to remember how he did it. But I remember he went down. He was holding his foot. But he played through it, helped him get the win. But boy, did it take a toll on him. And they reported today that he will indefinitely be sidelined with that right foot injury. So my question to you is, can AD be the man? Can Anthony Davis carry the Lakers to the promised land without LeBron? Start off with you, Randy, this time.
No. The answer is no. First off, Mr. Glass is a good player, right? I'll say that. But he's not a LeBron James. I don't see Anthony Davis even putting in, 42, 45 minutes of playtime to carry the Lakers without LeBron James. I just don't see it. But what I will say is, because of the few guys that they picked up during the trade, they may have an opportunity to win some games, but to make it to the postseason with just AD and no LeBron, no.
Look, I'm surprised he called him Mr. Glass. Usually I hear him by the name Street Clothes. He's always in street clothes on the bench.
Yeah.
What about you, Mike? What about you, Mike? Can he carry them?
Really, only way I can see him carrying the Lakers, somebody got to have some New Orleans gumbo, and he's got to go back to when he was blacking out in New Orleans, man. Yeah. But he hasn't did it since he's been there, man. Like when he was in New Orleans, everything was on him, and he used to black out, dog. Like I used to love to watch this guy play. Mm-hmm. And, he'll have his little bumps and bruises. He's out 2 games, come back, and black out again. But now that he's older, he's married, he's more civilized now. I mean, I don't think the hunger's there no more. I've always felt that way about professional athletes. When they become civilized, when they get that $100 million contract, to where they set basically for life if they don't blow it on gambling and drugs or bad investments, man, listen, it's hard to have those guys, in the gym with that work ethic to do what they used to do 5 or 6 years ago.
Right. So, okay. Cool. All right. Question number 3 for y'all. All right. If you notice, they're really close to working on the new NBA, that CBA, the collective bargaining agreement. Of course, there's a lot of stuff in here. I'm not going to go by each one, but I want to hit 3 of them that really stuck out to me. Number 1, the NBA, especially the owners, they want some kind of language in there for this load management and resting players, because at the end, it's hurting their ticket sales. If I'm expecting to come here to see Steph Curry play, and he on load management resting, and I don't waste that money, especially if I pay to get up close to watch him play, and he said, oh, he rested, he ain't hurt, he injured, you better believe that second time around, you ain't getting my money. So that's number 1. What are your thoughts on load management and them wanting the language in there? If you were NBA, come on now, let's put ourselves in the shoes, not as players. Let's put ourselves in the shoes as an owner. What kind of language or what do you want to see when it comes to load management and resting players? We'll start with you, Mike.
I'm going to be honest with you. With this generation of players, man, the last, I'm going to say 10, 15 years of players, you just started to see this. And one of the, Greg Popovich started that shit. That's the crazy part. Pop started it.
With Tim Duncan and them.
And what happened was people started piggybacking off that when they started winning championships, because they would rest 2 or 3 of them this game, rest 2 this game, next game rest another 2, and then next thing you know, that's why they was so deadly in the playoffs. Not just because they were resting.
They wouldn't even play the last 3 games of the season, especially if they already had their ranking.
Right. And the thing was, their bench players was getting so much time on the court. Man, you got guys coming out the bench scoring 20, 15, who no one's heard of. So, but I say all that to say this, man, if you look back in the 90s, with the Jordan, the Birds, the Magics, these dudes played every game. Now, if they had a high ankle sprain, man, go get that taped up. We got a game to play. Now, if you blew out your knee or broke a leg or broke some fingers, okay, you're on the bench. Tore ACL, you're on the bench. Even if you got a back spasms, okay, lay down on the court. Stretch out, let them stretch you out and get back on the court. It's just to where like I said, once they sign that contract, dog, they abused it. You gave them an
So,
inch, now they're taking a
so,
yard.
so, Mike, do you blame the owners for wanting? This language needs to be right. Like we're gonna rest these players or load management, but it's like you said, we ain't gonna allow you to put language in there that just free nilly willy whenever you want to. I mean, do you agree with the owners?
I agree with them to a certain extent because at the end of the day, it's money, man. It's money.
Yeah,
If I'm
Mike,
paying,
Mike, get your money. You the owner. You
oh,
wouldn't
okay.
do that if you're on your yeah, you the owner. I'm talking about you the owner. You wouldn't want that on a regular job. Man,
No,
boss, I don't feel like coming in today, man.
no.
I don't work 38 hours. I'm taking off these last 2 hours.
Yeah. Hey, listen.
I gotta be ready for next Monday.
If I'm an owner, I'm gonna have an issue with that.
Yep.
I'm really gonna have an issue with that because at the end of the day, someone made a TikTok about it the other day when LeBron James set out, and this guy scuffed up money to go to his first ever Laker game to bring his son.
Wow.
And here it is. He wants to see LeBron James play, and LeBron in the whole suit, chilling, talking, wasn't even playing. So, man, listen, that does mess with your ticket sales. That's why, man, listen, I've never paid for an NBA game. I've been to like 6 or 7. I've never paid for one because that's something that scares me.
Right.
Exactly.
So. Yep. And what about you, Randy? You the owner. You want certain language in there to protect your investments because these are your investment, these players, and honestly, you have no money if you have no fans.
Absolutely. And to piggyback off of what Mike said, it's frustrating going to a game if I'm only able to make one NBA game. Let's say I want to see the Lakers play. I didn't pay $200, $300 to see LeBron in the three-piece. Right. I want to see him on the court. And it's frustrating even watching the game, looking at Steph Curry, Kawhi Leonard, some of these guys sit on the bench in suits or in street clothes. Right. I paid to see you guys play. And going back to what he was speaking of, back to the 90s, Jordan played damn near every game. Yep. Scotty was playing damn near every game. And the only time you saw those guys in street clothes is if they were suspended or if they had, serious injuries or something. But like you said, back spasms, you had guys who had ankle sprains and they were taping their ankles up and still getting out there on the court because they wanted to perfect their record or do, ensure that they made it to the playoffs. So I think now the players are spoiled. They get paid a lot more than what players got paid 15, 20 years ago. And I think that if they're going to do low management or if they're trying to reserve their players, then maybe they should shorten the season. If injuries are an issue and players are more concerned with the longevity of their career, then they should shorten the season. Or I think that would be the only solution.
Well, look at this, Randy. If you shorten the season, right? It's not. I know they call it NBA salary, right? But you really get paid per game. So if you shorten the season, that means your salary is going to be shortened.
Okay, then. Then how do you manage that? So that's something I guess But going back to your question, yes, as an owner, I want to protect my investment. I want to make sure that I'm making the money that I need because I have to pay these players, right? I have to pay these expensive contracts. So yeah, I would definitely have to have something in writing and that's going to protect me and my investment.
So I got 2 things to say real quick. One, I mean, this is just sticks out in my head or anybody that's 35 plus. To see how players are today compared to how they were in the 90s. I'm sure all of us witnessed Michael Jordan, the flu game. This brother had the flu. He had to be carried off the court.
Yeah.
Man, if somebody have a chest cold, they're out.
Right.
Just a headache, a slight headache, they're done.
Right.
And
they had to pump him at halftime in the back. They had to pump him with IVs.
Yeah.
IV liquids.
See this,
but he went right back out there.
Right, but you got guys saying I'm the greatest ever. I'm the GOAT. Come on, man. You ain't got to go there, you know.
Right.
But you flopping. Who flops? That shit didn't.
Right.
I mean, that stuff didn't come.
Mike,
until,
I got a question. Mike, I got a question for you. Did Kobe Bryant ever flop? No.
I've never seen him flop.
Because he hasn't. Even though he came up during our era, he was a throwback player, man. He ain't never flopped.
Cared about winning too much.
He cared about winning.
Listen, that dude was a killer.
Yep.
He was an assassin.
Yep.
And the thing was, people thought he was always good. He was not always good, but his work ethic took him to a whole nother level.
That's right.
You know, while other guys was drinking, smoking, and doing what they were doing, this dude was in the gym perfecting his craft. So that's why the level of respect people have for him, you don't even have to be a Laker fan. You might don't even like Kobe, but you're going to respect him. You respect his work ethic. So
right. All right. So the second part of the CBA, they are making momentum strides, and they got some momentum build up. It's like the snowball effect. It's coming. They are really close to lowering the draft back down to 18 years old and no more one and done. But it's going to include some conditions. One of them being protecting the veteran players, because you only got so much on a roster spot. And, you know, when new people come in, the old people got to go out. That's the way it is. So are y'all a fan of going back to 18 years old? Because the reason why they start, and stop was because them 18-year-olds were getting hurt. Their body wasn't physically and mature enough to handle, first of all, 80-something games, getting beat up by men, pushed around by men. Not that 19 is a big jump, but at least some college, and in college, you're playing against some of the other best, bigger players. So it's not the same as the NBA, but what are your thoughts? 18, or does it need to be still be either play overseas 1 year and professional overseas, or college, one and done? What are your thoughts, Mike? We'll start off with you.
If I'm gonna be straight up with you, I feel really the way these players come out of high school with these egos and everything, they need 2 years of college.
Okay.
And a lot of them are not financially savvy. That's why a lot of them are going broke today.
Right.
You know, you got some players who've been in the league 6-7 years, and that's done, and they're broke.
Yeah.
It's the same. Well, I can't say it's the same with the NFL. It's all the way around. I mean, yeah, I'm looking at Terrell Owens and how much he made. You know, he's not like number 1 or number 2 on every category in the league, and the brother's almost broke. So to get back to what we were saying, I feel a lot of these players need at least 2 years in or 2 years overseas, and then go to the NBA before you're able to be drafted. That gives the veterans, that gives them an extra year to do what they need to do, or, you know, and move on from there.
Right. All right, Randy, what are your thoughts?
I'm for bringing it back. All right, some of the best players, man, ever played the game came into the league straight out of high school. I mean, look at LeBron James, right? Never played a day in college, straight from high school to the NBA. And, I mean, look at his career now. Guys like Kevin Garnett, Moses Malone, just to name a few. So, I mean, I don't think they should have removed it in the first place, but I'm all for it. I would like to see that. But I think if you possess the talent to play at that level, I think that's fine. I don't think if you're 18 or 22, it doesn't make you more financially sound. I just think it's all about the people that are in your corner. And, you know, I think that if you are at that age where you're not really used to making decisions on your own, then you should have a support system backing you, you know, when you do enter the league. And I think you have more guys now who are making smarter decisions than what it was 15, 20 years ago.
All right, let me share a little story here with you.
Okay.
Honestly, first of all, I agree with Mike about the 2 years, right? But honestly, I really believe the pressure is really coming from a lot of the mamas. The pressures come from a lot of the mamas that, man, son, you need to go ahead. You need to get in there, get this money so we can be taken care of now. They ain't going to come out and say it exactly like that, but we know what it is. But I'm going to show you an example. I don't know if y'all know this story. Do y'all know the story about Donovan Mitchell, who's now on the Cleveland Cavaliers, and why he even went into the NBA?
No.
Okay. Donovan Mitchell was in college. Man, what school was he going to again? Randy, look it up real fast for me.
I got
Google
you.
it real fast. Yeah.
Okay.
I want to remember what college he was going to.
But go ahead, continue.
All right. So this is what happened. He was going to college. Now, Donovan was pretty good in high school, right? He was good enough to make a college team. And Mike's going to get that team for us here in a second. And so while he was in college, Donovan Mitchell was taking criminal justice. He wanted to get a degree in criminal justice. So his first year of college, he's doing good, right? He finished the first year of college. He's loving school. He's loving his criminal justice. He already got it set in his mind. I'm gonna knock out these 4 years, and whatever happens, happen. But I'm gonna use my basketball talent to get my college degree. Mama pushed him. Boy, you need to go in the NBA. Boy, you need to go in the NBA. Mama, I don't want to go in the NBA. I don't even think I'm good enough for the NBA. To be honest with you, like I'm okay at the college level, but the NBA, I don't even think I'll make it out of the first round. You need to go in the NBA. You can always go back later and finish college. Don't worry about that right now. But Mom, I really want a degree in criminal justice. And she pushed him and pushed him and pushed him. And then he finally gave in to his mama and said, okay. And of course, we know he entered into the league, and he's actually doing great now. Donovan's one of the top players right now, top 10 at least. But long story short, he didn't want to go to NBA. He wanted to get that 4-year degree because he's like, man, this is where it's at right here in my mind. But it just proves that mama is the one that be pushing these boys to go ahead so they can get them out there. And they keep saying, well, I want you out the hood. I want you to do better than what we know, mama. You want out the hood too.
Right.
You want that nice mansion. You want that nice car. You want to show all your friends. And let's be honest, they ready to brag. Look at the Mercedes my son got me. Look at the house my son got me. I ain't ever got to work again. Son, you got your first $1 million? They walk right into work. I quit. I can't stand none of y'all. And then they bounce out.
Well, see, you got mamas like that, and then you got mamas like Jason Tatum's mom. Jason Tatum has not spent not $1 of his contract money. Not one.
Yeah.
Only endorsement money. That's all he lives off of. That's all he can spend. The rest of it is bank. So his mom was financial savvy, and his mom always had his back from day one. But back to Donovan, he went to Louisville.
Yeah, University of Louisville.
Yeah.
And look, and he was only averaging 7-8 points, barely 1-2 assists. Like he was really just your average player, but he didn't care. Like, I'm going to get my criminal justice degree. That's all he cared about.
But you got those mamas like that, man, and it's sad. I'm a barber, so to be in a barbershop and see some of these moms and just listen to them talk, all y'all sons can't be in the NBA and NFL. It's just not going to happen.
Right.
It's just not. Like, I realize you feel like your son is good and this and that. Hey, cool, but just pump your brakes, Mom. Just sit there, cheer for your son, and bow out. I mean, let the coach do his job.
And look. Well, here's the thing, Randy and Michael. You see now, what was it last year or the year before that they finally agreed to allow coming out of in high school. I don't know what age it is, high school and college, that the NIL, name, image, and likeness. You can sign deals now on your name, image, and likeness without even stepping foot on an NBA basketball court. So there's people that have like Puma deals, Adidas deals, and all that while they're still in high school. So if you're as good as they think you're going to be, don't worry, you'll get paid. Now you can, as within the last year.
But my thing is this. If you're good enough for the NBA to select you or any NBA team to select you straight out of high school, why not take advantage of that opportunity? Why go through 2 or 3 years of college knowing that in prime example, Zion Williamson. Remember, he was playing for North Carolina for 2 years, and then I think he injured. At Duke, I'm sorry. Duke. Yeah. He was at Duke, and he got injured, and I think it was a couple of NBA players that had encouraged him to go into the draft because they were like, look, man, you sitting here busting your tail playing college ball, and you're already at the NBA level. Just go ahead and get into the NBA. So let's just say Zion would have did 4 years at Duke, and let's just say he would have had a major injury at his 4th year, and then that would have stopped him from being able to enter the NBA or, you know, reaching whatever potential he was able to reach.
That can happen before you go into college.
Yeah, it could. But what I'm saying is that I would, and I used to be against it, but now it's like if you have the talent level to play in the NBA, straight out of high school, I say take advantage of that opportunity. You can always do college in the off season or, you know, whenever.
Now, when you're making those millions of dollars, you got 1% that's probably going to go back, and that's after their career ends. But Randy, let me ask you this: how come no other sports do that? You can't do that in football. You can't do that in baseball.
But you know what? Go. Okay. No, I'm sorry, man. Go ahead.
No. I don't know. That's a good question. I think for football, I think it's just the talent level is so great. I don't think you're ever going to get a kid coming out of high school that can play at the NFL level.
Why not? Okay. If you can do it in the NBA, why can't you do it in the NFL?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if there's a requirement, but I've never known for any player to be good enough to play at the NFL level right out of high school. Not even Reggie Bush. He was a beast in high school.
Okay. All right. I got another question for y'all. Question number 3. Since y'all brought up Zion Williams, he was on my list of questions. Zion Williamson is still out. Will he ever reach that level that people thought he was the next LeBron James? Because like, oh, he's a man child. He's built like a grown man, just like LeBron is. He's going to be the next best thing. Fortunately, his last couple years have not, to me, haven't lived up to the hype. What are your thoughts, Mike?
To be honest with you, with Zion, it's a few things that I factored. While he was still at Duke, there's a few things that I factored. I said, okay. Now this guy, he's strong. You know, he's got a good 15-footer. You know, he's definitely going to get you some rebounds. But to be honest, his weight was an issue with me. That's 82 games. That's a lot of wear and tear, man. And a lot of these kids don't realize that 82 games, wear and tear on your body. You're going 40, 45 minutes. Ankles, knees, tendons. I mean, it's just a lot. And I just knew it was just too much. If he would have got his weight down and did something like LeBron did when he was in Miami, because he got big, he put on a lot of weight in Miami. And then that last season, he went no carbs for like 3 months and trimmed down. And he felt lighter, better. He's even faster. You know, like he hit that fountain of youth. But that weight was the issue with me with him, man. 82 games is a long time, and a lot of people thought he was going to be the next LeBron, and I knew that wasn't happening. Because a guy like LeBron is once in a generation, man. Once in every generation. So,
all right, what are your thoughts, Randy?
I think Zion's going to be another Anthony Davis. Accident prone.
Yeah.
On the sideline half of the season. You know, And we're sitting back wondering if he's gonna finally get it together. And before you know it, 10 years would have passed.
Yep.
So do I think he's gonna be another LeBron James? Absolutely not.
Randy, I gotta blame your people. It's that Louisiana food.
Hey man, listen. Anthony Davis did fine when he was there. He just stayed hurt, man. So I don't know. Maybe they put some voodoo on him or something. Man. But he cannot stay healthy.
All right, my last question of the night. Last but not least, Damian Lillard. You saw the game against Houston the other day. The brother dropped 71 points over Houston, becoming only the 8th player in NBA history to score 70 points or more. Is he, Randy and Mike, wasting his time and his talent in Portland? Let's go, Randy.
Yes. No, well, I don't know, because when I think of Damian Lillard, I think of Barry Sanders, right? Okay. And I always felt like the Detroit Lions never had enough talent on that line to support Barry and what he was doing. And so they could never really be Super Bowl or even conference contenders. But I think 71 points means nothing if you're not making it to the playoffs and if you're not able to lead your team, past the regular season. So yeah, is his talent being wasted? Yes, I do believe so. He would probably go down as one of the best Portland Trailblazer players ever, but that's about it.
What are your thoughts on that, Mike?
Loyalty. That's how when I think of Damian Lillard, that's the first thing that pops in my mind. Loyalty.
They don't win championships.
Yeah, and it sucks that it's that way. But I can tell you this: financially, he doesn't want for anything because he's had he's on his second big contract, his second max contract. So the brother, he's set.
And Mike, you know who else was like that though?
Who was that?
That was in the same boat. Kevin Garnett, until he left and went to Boston.
Yeah.
He was so loyal to them.
Yeah, he did what? 15 seasons there, man.
Yep.
Yeah, 15 seasons there, and then turned around.
What happened as soon as he left? What happened? Got a championship.
Yeah.
Is that what Dave Lillard needs to do?
But you have to realize too, Kevin Garnett came straight out of high school too. He was one of the few that came straight out of high school.
Yeah.
So
where does he need to go, Mike, to win a championship? What team would benefit the most to have Damian Lillard and really have a legit shot to go all the way to the finals? What team?
Lake Show.
To Lakers?
I think he needs to go to the Lakers because they can definitely use an outside shooter like Damian.
Man, listen, Milwaukee Bucks would dominate with him.
Oh yeah.
Milwaukee Bucks would dominate with that cat, man. Listen.
Now, what if he got switched out for Marcus Smart at Boston?
They ain't got enough basketballs then. It's not gonna work. There ain't enough basketballs on the court. Because I
think that'll be a good one, man. That would be. I think that'll be good because he'd be able to help your boy Jason Tatum, man. The Boston is known for playing great defense. They don't have the best outside shooters. They really don't. Jason Tatum to me is probably the only one that really is reliable when it comes to shooting outside the perimeter. But other than that, I think Dame would be a good fit there.
Okay, cool. All right, well, guys, man, those are our NBA questions tonight. For those out there, there's some that hopped on, man. We appreciate you hopping on, checking out our NBA Topics Talk. For those that are watching a live replay, please make sure you follow us on our social media. Mike, give people your social media, how they can follow you.
You can follow me at @stayhungry_stay humble Instagram.
All right. What about you, Randy?
Hey, BoxingAndBasketball.com or also JaguarLand_sports.
All right, there you have it. You already know we're boxing and b-ball on our social media. Hey, if you're watching the replay, make sure you hit the like button. Let's get it up there. And man, just keep supporting us, and we'll keep bringing you the content. Till next time, we signing out. Appreciate it, guys.
It's out.